Hello, White Sox fans, and welcome to the FutureSox podcast, part of the Just Baseball Media Network. My name is Ian Eskridge. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Mr. James Fox. Tonight, we'll be getting into the MLB Top 30 that just popped out. Spring training thoughts, WBC thoughts. How are you, James?
Good, man. How's it going?
It's going all right.
I feel like we just did this, It's like,
A couple days ago, but
yeah.
was not live. So, in that thought process, it doesn't really count.
Yep, for sure. That was a fun episode. We're going to get into some of that tonight, obviously. Look back at the pipeline list and just takeaways from it, and then other stuff that Callis said, man. We went like a solid hour, and he said we could have done another hour. We probably could have. Like, we could have got wacky and obscure and NFL and all. We could have done a bunch of stuff. Like,
Yeah, it's like the conversations with Jim are always a lot of fun. Super giving of his time, super nice guy. Lots of information. Good dude.
when have you listened to him enough places? Like, kind of like some of the hot topics too, right? Like if you could like throw something out there and you're like, this is going to be 8 minutes. Like if like if like, depending on what it is, if it's something he's really passionate about, like
Yeah, see,
he brings up that White Sox draft thing all the time where he hates that rule, where they like won the lottery, but went down. He talks about that everywhere.
yeah, I generally, like there's so much stuff that I'd like to talk to him about, but I stick with White Sox stuff just because I know that we only
Yeah.
have like a limited amount of time,
Right.
and I don't want to eat up his entire night, but I could.
Yeah, and I feel like we kind of like need to play the hits here sometimes, like I kind of know what he's gonna say about Hagen Smith and Noah Schultz, but I mean, that stuff needs to be like out into the ether, basically.
Yeah, it's like we knew that we're gonna have to talk about rock. We're gonna have to talk about the top 30.
I can't believe we
Is
waited
what it is.
35 minutes because they're
Well,
like, we're gonna talk about Rock Watch and how excessively some feel like maybe we're taking it. Pipeline's doing it on their podcast, and it's not even a White Sox podcast. Like they have a Rock Watch,
they do.
and that's like a national show.
Yeah, and so does Baseball America talks about it, and
Yeah,
Future Projection. They all
every
talk
week.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and some of it's in the context of like who could overtake him. I think some are seemingly starting to realize that, like, the fact that it's the White Sox, right, with Rock, like, I don't know. Like, it'd probably take a lot for somebody it's not your typical year where it's like, oh, if he has a good year but not a great year, could one of these other guys come in like cheaper or whatever? This like doesn't really seem to be the year for that.
I don't think so. Yeah, we'll get into the rock watch thing later. Um, let's go ahead and the meat of our podcast here is going to be on the MLB Pipeline Top 30. So let's go ahead and start with that. Um, so I guess my first question when I saw it, and I kind of had like I kind of felt it blowing in the breeze, but Braden Montgomery is number one. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a little rich for me. I know we've kind of had like a text conversation just about some of the, like, I get it. Like, if you're like the Keith Law side of things, right? Like, I've always generally trusted his opinion with hitters a lot. He gets them right. He likes the fact that Braden's still kind of young, kind of inexperienced for a college guy, and he just bets on athletes. Like, it's a premium athlete. But the people who don't like him as much, Kylie McDaniel, some others, think that there's potential for like serious strikeout concerns where he never gets to any of the power basically, and he's just kind of nothing. Um, so I think when you have Noah Schultz in the system and Caleb Bonnemer, like it's tough for me to rank Braden over either of those two guys. I I need to get into Hagen Smith a little bit earlier because it's like been a roller coaster with us. Like I'd probably put Hagen over Braden, but like I get like 3, 4 right in there. I think getting him to 1, 2 is kind of tough right now, though.
That's my thought as well. Like I text you on and talk to you not on the pod about this stuff. Like I have serious concerns about his bat to ball. Um, It's when he gets a breaking ball on the outer half of the plate, I feel like he pulls out of the zone quite a bit with his body. And, to the point where I say to myself, why does anybody bother throwing anything middle in to him at all? And it's been a concern of mine since watching him early last year. Now, that's not saying that I don't like him as a prospect because I genuinely do. I just, that's like one of those things that gives me pause when I come to number 1, number 2 when I have a couple of starting pitcher prospects that I think are, at least like top half of the rotation guys.
Well, and like the power's real, right?
It is.
But he's got to get to pretty much like all of it because like if especially if there are some hit tool concerns, right? Like if it's a lot more strikeouts than people think, it's fine if it's 30 homers in an outfield corner, right? But it's got to be 30 homers. It can't be 19 homers and, all these other like issues, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm really curious to see where they send him to start, right? Like does he go right to Charlotte? Does he go back to Birmingham? I would send him right to Birmingham or back to Birmingham. It hasn't been enough time for me. Um, and you have enough of like the Tristan Peters of the world, I think, to fill a Charlotte outfield for a while. So yeah, I go to Birmingham, prove it for 6 weeks, then you're in Charlotte for not much time, right? And then we'll see you this summer, hopefully.
Yeah, that's my hope. Um, I also think that he should go to Birmingham. Um, I kind of feel like sending him to Charlotte to start off the year with as much breaking stuff and guys who have generally plus location is going to be a problem for him right out of the gate. Got to give him a few weeks to get comfortable before sending him there. At least I feel.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, and look, I mean, like some of this, like Jim kind of talked a little bit about how do you get, like, it's hard to get off guys, like, and Elijah talks about this sometimes too, like in a negative way. Like if you loved a guy in the draft, it's like tough to like give up some of that, right? Whereas like that's why I asked him the question I did about Bonnemer the way that I did. Like Callis was not a big Bonnemer guy, like coming out, and it just happened to be the times he saw him, he wasn't great, and the people he heard from, like there were some issues like coming out of the Midwest, right? Whereas like other people saw him mash like on the summer circuit and they're like, there's no way this guy doesn't hit, right? So he was like super divisive. Um, so he's the number one prospect at Baseball America, right? Bonnemer. And
Uh, yeah,
after some of the people we've talked to there, it's not a surprise. Like you hear Jeff Ponce talk, like, yes, I'm sure like Caleb Bonnemer's one for them. So yeah, that stuff's always fascinating to me. I do think the top four you know, in some order as the top 4 guys pretty much, like, everywhere for the most part. Um, and then I thought what Jim said about Billy Carlson was interesting. I want your take publicly on that, dude, just because like, we don't argue, but I feel like there's, like, legitimate questions about whether Billy Carlson will hit, like, at all, right? So then, like, how high do you rank him? I think there's a question of like a lot of these publications, like he's their no doubt like fifth top 100 guy, right? But I feel like some people would like put Opper or McDougal above him until they like see him play, right? So, you know, I guess yeah, just the thought that Jim basically even said like he doesn't have to hit that much to be to be like a top prospect because of how good the defense is.
yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill out the top five. After Braden, they have Noah Schultz, Caleb Bonnemer, Hagen Smith, and then Carlson coming in at number five. Um, so we'll get to the other guys. I will publicly go out here with my Billy Carlson thing. You know how I am when it comes to prospects. I like to see them first before really giving them the premium gas when it comes to the rankings. Um, Now I've seen the glove is fantastic, and that I know, like that. There's no question there. And I saw the home run off of Opper. on what appeared to be like a rolling slider that hung up there for Billy to kill. But I also know that like the next day he came out and Opper came out and struck out all the top prospects in a row, and looked fantastic. So I need to see the bat for for myself to feel better about his bat. You know, I don't have enough time watching him to say that'll play, you know, at least up until he gets to the major leagues, which that's generally what I try and do is I try and look at guys and say, at least for the competition that they're playing in the minor leagues, they are much better than everybody else they're playing. And then once they get to the major leagues, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I can project it as much as I want, but you know, there's no, you know, guarantee that any of it's going to be realized.
Yeah, and I think defensively he will be better than everybody, but like how valuable is that? I think that's the question, you know. It's like I don't know. Like if it's the best like minor league defense and some homers, but that's it. Like eh, I don't know. Like we're going to see, right? I think if anybody has him like 7th, you know, you want to put the two pitchers ahead of him, like I mean, I get it. I don't, but like I know I'd probably have him 5, but yeah, I mean, McDougal and Opper, Jim even said they're like probably what 101 to 120, probably. Like those guys are, you know, we get a bunch of early graduations, and Tanner McDougal goes back to Birmingham or goes to Charlotte, and he's really good. I mean, we're going to see him on top 100 lists. You know, I mean, does he make it to the big leagues like before he makes it on the top 100 list? Maybe, right? But Opper, I feel like, is a guy who publications are just waiting for him, like to make 5 starts in Birmingham that are awesome, and he's all of a sudden going to be on everybody's list, right? It just kind of snuck up on people. I feel like a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that. I got a super chat here from Trey. He says, "Where does Carlson start?" And Joseph Contreras.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I think Carlson starts in Kannapolis, but Elijah had speculated that he thinks he might go to Arizona if they're like working on something specifically with his swing. I don't know. I think it's kind of a red flag personally, and I love him, but it's like kind of a red flag if he has to go to rookie ball. Like that guy should be in low A, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know that he'd be in rookie ball long. I just like low A is not very good right now, you know. So it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, like you can't. Like I feel like anything they could do in rookie ball, I don't know why they couldn't do it in Kannapolis, but you know, maybe they don't care about the games as much, whatever. But yeah, we'll see. So I mean, he'll be in one of those two spots, and then yeah, Joseph Contreras is awesome. I don't know that he'll be on the board at 41. Honestly, like he's pretty freaking good. There's a lot of prep pitching, and they go lower than like their talent level essentially because teams just like don't take them in the first round. So yeah, he's probably like a top 50 pick that's going to get paid quite a bit of money.
yeah, my thought on this whole thing is that um, you could send him to Kannapolis, but I kind of feel like the um, if you keep him in rookie ball, I don't feel like there's going to be a huge amount of a talent gap there, and it allows them to keep him in house and closer to, uh, you know, Fuller would probably be in Arizona to start the year, working with a bunch of guys. I would imagine.
That's true. If there's like high
Um,
level people in Arizona to start, yeah.
yeah, that's my only thought on
Does
that.
that season does that season start at the same time? I'd have to look. I need to like be better about that. I know Charlotte starts with the big league club.
Well, I mean, you can say that you're supposed to be that you need to be better about that, but I mean, in reality, they don't publish a schedule
I know.
on the ACL, so
Well,
who
rookie
knows?
ball is new. Yeah. Like I feel like they start with full season, but like the other leagues, the A ball leagues in Birmingham and double A. So yeah, so that would be one thing. But I think we do know Jaden Fauski's going to Kannapolis. And those are basically, you know, we just kind of hit the top prospects in the system other than Sam Antonacci. There's like a question There were a couple of questions about him, too. Like baseball said, what? Not sure why his expected debut date is 27. No, it should be 20. He'll be there this year at some point. I think the bigger question is like where he plays, like when he's up. Um, and then based on what we've seen from Antonacci in spring, from Kevin, like is he underrated in the system? Maybe, right? I think you and I are pretty similar on this. Like, I think he's in the right spot. I can't really put him much higher than 8. Um, but could he be better than Billy Carlson and Tanner McDougal and maybe, like if he's got a 10-year big league career and like we're all like, "Oh, that was dumb." Like nobody believed in this guy, it's just hard without like tools. He just is a baseball player and
Yeah,
he's gonna make it.
he is a good baseball player. The thing that when you think about Sam Antonacci, the thing you think about is that guy is a baseball player. He's got a high baseball IQ and a super high motor, and he happens to have really good bat to ball. So you
Yeah.
know, that helps,
I do think it's probably second base though. Like in an
Yeah.
ideal, like can he play other spots like occasionally? Yes. Like he could play some third, he could probably play some left. I'm sure he could go stand at short for like a game. But I mean, if it's second base, the Sox are going to get pretty crowded. So we'll see.
That's the hope. You hope that he's the kind of guy that you have around in a championship run that is your uh the guy that we always comp him to. I'm blanking. The guy who was on the Cubs.
Oh yeah, Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, Ben Zobrist. That's the guy that you hope he is.
Yeah, that would be
Um,
great. I don't know if he has that much power. If he has that much
yeah,
power, because that's the thing. Because even I said what I said, Whit Merrifield, and Elijah didn't love that very much. But like, I mean, Whit Merrifield, I think had like 25 career WAR. Like if Antonacci does that, it's like a tremendous pick. I mean,
yeah,
like,
100%.
and like, I would have. I mean, I think it's more power than I thought even 6 weeks ago. When you see him popping 110s, I mean, if he can do that at the rate and some of these other ballparks he's going to play in, like if he can get to 12 to 15 homers, it changes the profile a lot because 12 to 15 homers is a lot different than like the 3 to 5 that I thought he would hit.
Yeah, that's 100% it. And like when you talk about him being underrated, overrated, whatever, uh, I think that in general, when you just bring up those terms as far as prospect goes, it's all about judging like what the ceiling is for the player and what the floor
Yeah,
is.
right. Yeah, and his ceiling is not as high as the 7 players that we have in front of him, and it's probably not as high as Jaden Foskey's either, but the floor is a hell of a lot higher than some of these other guys.
Yeah, I mean, at least we think.
Yeah.
At least we think. If we see him go out and start just, I mean, you can't really judge it because if he goes to Charlotte, if he's hitting, if he plays 25 games there and hits 15 home runs, like, yeah, that's good. But is it one of those things that's like, this is what he's going to do in the majors? Probably not
Right.
because that place is a launching pad.
Right.
So,
Right. I mean, people are gonna get really mad, like, but I mean, we talked about Braden Montgomery, right? And I mean, like Sam Antonacci could like hang around in the big leagues due to his skill set, right? You look at a guy like Braden Montgomery, his ceiling is tremendous, right? Well, I mean, I remember a guy in camp, Jared Kelenic, top 5 prospect in baseball, like couldn't miss either, right? And he can't get to any of that power. That just like guys miss all the time, right? So it's just
yep.
like one of those things where, um, like Caleb Bonham looks awesome. Like Caleb Bonham needs to go to Double A, and like that'll basically determine like what he is.
Yeah. All right. So 6 to 10, we got Tanner McDougal, Jaden Fauske, Christian Hopper, Sam Antonacci, and Kyle Lodise.
Yeah, 10. I think 10 is really difficult. Like like everybody will have like the 10th ranked prospect. I feel like differently. I don't think I would put Lodis at 10. Um, I think it's more second than short. I think he can probably hit a little bit, but you know, it just seems I don't know. I mean, putting backup infielder on him already is like probably too strong. Like we need to see him for a full season. Um, but it does seem like offensive minded, right-handed hitting infielder. So I mean, the other guys, like I would have Tanner and Opper together, and I'd probably put Antonacci above Foskey just because we know more of like what Antonacci is. That doesn't mean that Foskey's not exciting. I just feel like I'd probably have him closer to 9. And then I do think there's, like there's a real debate for 10. I was a little bit surprised, like you didn't get to him yet, but how far down Pipeline had David Sandlin. I was just like, I thought he was up in that like 10, 11, 12 range. We're going to be pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, that one we'll get to in a second. I also had that same question. I mean, we were it was in our you put it in the list of questions to get to with
Mm.
Jim, and
All about Sandlin. I just didn't ask him that. Yeah.
yeah, we just didn't get there. There's too much other stuff. Um, Obviously, I like McDougal a lot. He's been one of my guys, for years now. Um, I agree with you, like pretty much 100% on all of that. I am pretty surprised that Lodis is at 10. I saw the glove. The glove looks pretty good. The arm probably a little bit light for shortstop, I would think. Kind of reminds me of kind of Mydroth's arm, where it's good enough to play shortstop, but it's not a plus plus
Yeah.
arm,
Right. So
necessarily what you
it's
want.
another second baseman probably,
Yep. It's gonna get
which,
awfully crowded if that
yeah,
guy
I mean,
hits.
which is fine. So just really quickly, like going back to, like, I said I kind of lumped the pitchers together, Opper and Tanner, right? Tanner's closer to the big leagues. We've known him longer. Do you think those guys are just like pick your flavor? How do you set, like, is it like a preference thing? Or is it like Opper's ceiling is probably higher, but we've seen Tanner do it at double and we're gonna see him do it? Because like Tanner McDougal, like Opper, like Jim said, could be one of the like best left-handed pitching prospects in baseball.
Yeah,
Like
it's
if he
kind of
goes to Birmingham and you know what I mean? And I think we both love McDougal and like everybody knows it, right? But it's just so like Opera is fascinating to me because he's like one of these guys that could just be on like a rocket if he's good.
yeah. I mean, I agree with you that I kind of think that they're the same guy. They're just from opposite sides of the right left thing. I think that we see where that's going to end up going later on this year, as Opper starts climbing through the thing. And as you said, we've already seen McDougal do it at Double A, and he did get optioned to Triple A. I was going to mention that later, but I'll just say that now that he got reassigned to Charlotte, which is probably never the thing that any pitcher wants to hear is that they get reassigned to Charlotte. But
Yeah, and that was so that's like where they're was he in Charlotte late in the year? He wasn't, was he? No, so that's where he's going because that's always weird. So if a guy is on the 40 man, they have to like they have to auction them. Whereas like Schultz just gets reassigned to minor league camp. Merck already reported that he's going to Charlotte, but they don't have to like designate where they're going if they're not
right,
on the 40 man. They just say like back to minor league camp or whatever.
yeah, yep.
Well, if those two and Hagen are in that rotation, there's lots of questions because you have Sandlin, you have Cannon, you have other guys that are probably deserving to pitch for the Knights. So I'm wondering to see if Hagen just goes back to Birmingham, but I don't know. I mean, with how he's looked, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that is a good question. I don't know. Maybe you send him there for like 3 weeks, and if he just looks like how he's been looking in spring training right now, he just goes to Charlotte. If
Yeah,
I
no, I
I
think
mean,
look,
if
I think there's a world, and like we could do this later. I think there's a world where Hagen's the first of these guys up, and I know what that means. I know that like sounds crazy, but like he's I just don't know what much else he like needs to do. And Tanner's the same, obviously. Um, but I could just, number 5 pick in the draft, like it's like if he's ready and they need to start, like I could see that at some point.
it's going to get real crowded in that rotation this
Yes.
year. If anybody, you know, these guys that the White Sox keep on bringing in, and I'm not criticizing them for bringing these guys in, but like the Anthony K, you know, Eric Fetty type guys, if they pitch well, they might just get rid of them quickly
Oh yeah.
and
Oh
bring these
yeah,
guys up. I
for
don't even
sure.
know what to say. I
That was one of the things I said on Danny, what Danny's doing at bingo card on his show, and,
Yeah.
one of mine was that at least one White Sox big league starter will be traded, like, by whatever, like, June or something.
Yeah. I mean that makes sense to me.
Kev, sorry, really quick. So Kev said both fifth rounders. We actually asked Mike Shirley about this when we interviewed him at Sox Fest. So Tanner McDougal, Opper, and Antonacci are all fifth rounders. They've like done a really good job in the fifth round. The White Sox have.
Yeah, I feel like the White Sox have done a phenomenal job, and I've gotten pushback on this from several people, but I feel like they've done a very good job at filling out the backside of this system. The backside of the system is so much better than it was 5, 6 years ago, and it's just with the quality of the drafting.
Yeah, for sure. And the international market is like bad still. So
It
I
is.
think
Yeah.
that's the reason why like 10, I think like 10 to 20 is not great, but 21 through like 50 is like better than it's been in like a long time. Like I can do like I'm gonna have a tough time doing 20 names on the just missed because I could go to like 40 names.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, limiting it to 20 and this is such a weird place to be in, where it makes the 20 to 40 and 20 to 50 in the system makes it very hard to rank guys because, as Jim mentioned, it's like once you get past 20, maybe even 15, it's like you have a bunch of guys that could fit in that back 15 of the system, but there's a bunch of guys that are maybe just in the same boat, just you can't fit them in.
Right.
And you have to play favorites at that point.
Yeah, and he kind of made that point too with Opper and McDougal that like look, I mean, they're not on his top 100, but I mean, they're pretty similar to guys like 75 through 100 on a list. Like those guys are not like guy 75 and guy 125 like in baseball, not that different.
Yep. All right, so go to 10 to 20. We got William Bergoya Jr., Mason Adams, Javier Mogollon, George Wilco, Joral Perez, Blake Larson, Matthias Lacombe, David Sandlin, Jetixon Paez, and Sebastian Romero. And I'm going to keep the last one until later on. And it's something that we did talk to Jim
Yeah,
about,
hold
and I
that
want to
one.
go over this. But
So
your thoughts?
something here really pisses me off. What do you think it is?
Blake Larson.
No, there's one really high that I wasn't expecting that kind of makes me angry because I wanted to do it first.
Bergoya?
So Javier Mogollon being 13, I think makes sense. I
Yeah.
think like Elijah was there last week and all he would do is like text us about how much the White Sox love him and how good he looks. And I was like, all right, well, let's hike him way up our list and be right about something. And then fricking Jim Callis did it. So we'll see. Like it'll be, I'm just kidding. But like yeah. I mean, so he didn't play that much last year. When he did
That's the
play,
problem.
he
Yeah.
was good. The thing that was like to me that was the most impressive was like there were loud tools in the DSL and in Arizona with a 40% strikeout rate. He cut it like basically in half in
Yeah, I think it's
Kannapolis.
15%. Yeah.
Yeah, and the power was like still there. So we need to see Mogollon play. I'm hoping to see him in person next weekend when I'm in Arizona. Um, but the Sox love him. Like they think, like if you asked them to like make the list for us, I think he'd be right in this range.
Yeah. I've always liked the idea of him, and from what I saw of him at Kannapolis, he looked awesome. The problem is that between him getting hit in the hand, and then I think he had like an ankle or a foot or something that kept him out for a while. That
Yeah.
you just didn't see him enough. The exit velocities suggest a lot of power. the home runs didn't come as much as I thought they would. I kind of thought he would hit a few more than he did, but he hit a lot of balls off the wall. So, I mean, the power is definitely there. It's just giving him time to get his bearings in affiliate ball. So
Yeah.
until we see that take
Do
off, I
you
think.
do you think Bergoya being 11 um is basically like a microcosm of the system being like middle of the pack kind of? Cuz like I like him, but I feel like in the good systems he's like one of these like sleeper 16 through 20 type guys or whatever, like hey, he's probably going to play in the big leagues. I don't know how much impact it is. The fact that he's that close to our top group is like maybe why the system's ranked 16 at Pipeline.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Because we talked about floor and ceiling, right? The ceiling's not that high, but
yeah.
he's gonna play in the big leagues.
Yeah, I don't know. Gloves really good. Bat to ball's really good. Base running's good. Power, not so much.
Bloodlines, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Um,
and then what? Mason's up there, which I think 12 is the only issue with Mason Adams right now is just it's not his fault. He's 26 years old, you know, and that I mean he's still. I think he's gonna pitch in the big leagues. Obviously, he got hurt late. Um, You know, I don't know what do you know, like, his timeline? Are we thinking, like, in games in May or so?
yeah, I mean, he's been throwing bullpens since the first week of camp, and he had been throwing off a mound before that. So I would think so. Um, like we should see him at an affiliate somewhere taking innings. I kind of think that we're looking at the um, what is that? Uh, Connor. I'm completely blanking. It's a Mick name. It's not Connor McGregor. Um,
McCullough?
yeah, Connor McCullough.
Yeah.
Route where he came up and he started pitching in Winston Salem for a little bit and pitched there for about a month and then moved up to Birmingham. I think we could probably see that and maybe see him in Birmingham for a little while before he moves up to that the shredder that is Truist Field in Charlotte.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like this group, there's just, like, a lot to prove, obviously, which probably makes sense as to why they're, like, 11 through 20. Like, Wolko going to Winston probably for the first time. Perez, could really put himself on the map if he hits, like, in Double A, he's probably going there. We talked about Blake Larson and Matthias Lacombe with Jim, you know, I think Lacombe's probably in the rotation at Winston, and Larson will probably be in the rotation at some point in Kannapolis, right? And then the Sox traded for David Sandlin, and they think that he's legit starting pitching depth. So, he's probably in the star-studded Charlotte Knights rotation.
It looks like it to me. And it's can't have enough guys that throw 98 miles an hour.
Yeah. Connor
Uh,
McGregor. That's funny. Yeah.
yeah, there you go. Sorry, I got that brain fog. Uh, Kerry says George is delighted with how his spring is going. He had hit a ball 120.7 miles an hour or something yesterday.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I mean, granted, it only traveled about 20 feet at 120 miles an hour, but even still.
Right. Yeah, the big thing with George is just going to be like if he does all the things that are necessary to like cut down the strikeout rate and improve the hit tool, like does he have the same crazy power, right? So because you don't want to like sacrifice all those things, you know what I mean? Like change your profile so much where all of a sudden you're this big massive dude hitting 15 homers because you're trying not to K and so that'll be interesting. I'm curious to see him in Winston. He's done his time in Kannapolis. I think it's time for high A George Wolko. So I think we should get to see that.
I think he'll be helped. This is kind of one of those things where the higher you go up, the better competition you see, the more the baseball is going to be near the strike zone, and the
Yep.
better the umpires are going to be as well. So I think that could possibly help him out. We'll see what happened. George plays. Trey asks, "Has George still been playing center?" He's played there. I think a couple innings in spring training, starting in right field and then shifting over as the guys start. piling into the lineup later on in the games.
Yeah.
I
They don't have, like, somebody that's, like, a priority to play it in Winston, I don't think, though. Because my guess is Zavala will play it a lot in Double A, and then Foskey will play every day in Low A.
Kannapolis, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that makes
he could
sense.
still do it some at Winston, I would think.
Yeah. That makes sense right there. That tracks.
Adrian said Sandlin showed up with back problems. Yeah, I saw that too. He had, like, some sort of
Oh yeah,
back issue.
I missed that one earlier. That's why we haven't. Baseball asked why we hadn't seen Sandlin throw yet. That's why he had like a back thing.
Mhm.
He's throwing in the on the backfields and
Yeah.
hitting his velo and stuff. He just started a little bit late.
So before you get, we could lump in Paez and Alberto together. I thought what Jim said there was, like, a little bit interesting. Like, I actually kind of thought it the other way, like, until Jim brought it up. I thought that they would, like, just kind of decide that they can't do the Alberto thing, but then try to hide Paez somehow. But Jim seems to think, like, do it the other way, where you just try to have Alberto come in with, like, a 5-run lead or whatever and kind of hide him because the arm's so good that you don't want to, like, send him back.
Yeah, he had a. I think he gave up a hit yesterday. Had I think a strikeout and like a double play or something like that, or maybe it was a ground out and a double play. I don't know. The metrics speak favorably of Alexander Alberto. Um, I just don't know how it's going. I just don't know how it's going to play against major league hitters at this point. To me, it just seems like he doesn't hit his spots enough, and the pitches just don't pop enough to
Yeah.
get those outs consistently at the major league level. I could be wrong. I mean, like we are still looking at a very small sample size, and we're talking about spring training where you're in Arizona with the Magnus effect and all this stuff. So breaking pitches don't work as well as they should. I just, I'm not at the full optimistic
Yeah.
level for this whole
If
experiment.
if there were a way to, like, trade something for him and make him the closer at Birmingham, I would love it. Like, that would be
Yeah.
great. Like, that would be awesome. I mean, same thing with Paez. And I guess, like, with Paez, there might be some truth to the fact that, like, they could still acquire him somehow potentially. Um, I just don't know if another horrible team would just, like, claim him and do the Rule 5 thing with him, like, if you cut him basically.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah.
we heard that the people in Tampa's system were very surprised that Alberto got chosen in the Rule 5.
Well, yeah, because he was, like, in high A. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be one of those things where they could just work out a deal. I wouldn't be surprised because it's Tampa. They got so many ancillary arms in their system that I could 100% see them taking some cash to keep him.
Yeah, or if there's, like, a
But
fringe big leaguer the White Sox have that, could make their team or something somehow. Like, could Alexander Alberto be part of a package for Corey Lee if they, like, need a catcher or something? Like, I don't know, maybe.
I'll get to this name in a second here. But
Oh,
baseball's already.
speaking of ideas, right? Like, is that what you said earlier? Like, you like to have something more than an idea. There's a player on this list that doesn't actually exist, I think.
Yeah. So 21 through 30,
Hmm.
we've got Landon Hodge, Alexander Alberto, Alexander Albertus, which ended up somehow on the spring breakout roster. How does this even happen
I hope
considering that
watch him play in the game.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Never seen the guy once in a dugout.
He's played for the White Sox less than Fernando Tatis Jr. did.
100%. Yeah.
Like,
And his numbers were better than Fernando Tatis Jr. So, at least at that level, Aldrin Batista, Tyler Schweitzer, Jacob Gonzalez, Gabe Davis, Fernando Graterol, Shane Murphy, and Kai Bush to round out your top 30. Your thoughts on that
well,
list of 10?
I mean, we asked Jim about this, like, as the resident, like, international guy on staff here. I could never rank those two guys. I just can't. Like I can't do Gratterall and Romero yet. Um, Especially when there's like guys that we could make the argument for from last year's DSL crop. Like I need to, and like we're not gonna see them for a long time. Like I won't see those guys play until maybe next year's spring training stateside, right? Like they're gonna go to the DSL, and if their numbers are great, like yeah, I mean, look, like we'll put them on a midseason if their numbers are great. But I just I've seen this too many times where these guys just get $1.5 million and like do nothing basically. So I can't put them on a preseason list.
Yeah, at FutureSox, we are generally the first people to put somebody on the DSL that has really good numbers into the top 30. Um, we pushed
We pushed Christian Gonzalez last year, right?
yeah, and then the guy that we traded away to the Red Sox who,
Oh yeah,
brain
Yorker
fog
Yorker
again.
Fajardo we had up
Yeah.
really, yeah, exactly. Like we're not for
I'm
sure.
not anti putting them on the list, but putting them on the list in the preseason after they literally just got signed 2 months ago to me is bonkers.
Yeah, and he what was I gonna say? Like they're both gonna go to the DSL. Um I mean I'll put them both on the just missed. Um Part mostly because like I just like think they're interesting to write about. So I'll make them 2 of the 20 that I put on there. Um but no, I can't put either of them on the actual list. Not yet.
Your thoughts on Juan Corella?
Where is Juan Corella? Yeah, he might make it onto R30, I think. It depends on
Possibly. Yep.
like who ranks him. I mean, I think he's similar to like I don't know where he is in his rehab, but I mean, he's not that different than, like the Kai Bush and I mean, Mason Adams is better, but I mean, it's like that tier of guy. Like he could be in the Birmingham rotation if he's healthy basically.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a bunch of the guys who are fringy for one reason or another as far as the older arms in the system with Tyler Schweitzer, Aldrin Batista. I mean, I guess Aldrin Batista is not older, but it's kind of one of those fringy guys. And then Shane Murphy and Kai Bush. And I'm probably of our entire Future Sox staff, I'm probably the highest on Kai Bush. I'm surprised that he even made the list.
The pipeline list?
Yeah,
I mean, he made other ones. I feel like he's on baseball because the thing with Kai Bush is he was really good at Double A,
he was.
and
Yeah.
and like Baseball America moved him like really high, like into the top 10. Then he went to Charlotte and struggled, and then he went to the big leagues and struggled, right? But he was also hurt, and then had Tommy John, right? So like, were those struggles real because his stuff's like not great, or was his stuff not great because he was pitching with a torn UCL because he's like knocking on the door to the big leagues? So
Yeah.
I need to see what he looks like because I've even said it. And like, like not all these guys can start, right? But there's a world where Kai Bush is like a really good left-handed reliever. Like
I
if the
think
stuff if the stuff plays up.
I mean the guy had a 1.07 whip at Birmingham.
Yeah.
And then we don't know exactly how the timeline goes when he got to Charlotte. Like I don't know if his elbow was bothering him while he was at Charlotte. Um but again, and I always harp on this, and I apologize to everybody listening, but a different baseball from Double A to Triple A is the stupidest thing ever. Not to mention he's got to go pitch at Charlotte. It's unfair to literally every pitcher that goes there. Drives me nuts.
Yeah. He was transferred to the 60-day, right?
Yes.
It's Drew
Yep.
Thorpe that has not been.
Right.
Drew Thorpe news this week is pretty promising, I think.
Yep.
Just it's what we were hoping for. Normal wear and tear from Tommy John rather than like another injury, essentially. So
Yeah. So let's hop to the spring training takeaways. We got Drew Thorpe is throwing 20 pitch bullpens, all fastballs. Says he feels good. Says he rebounded better the second time than he did the first time. So there's a positive there. That's good.
yeah. I
Um,
think what Drew Thorpe is I mean, he's gonna have to like come back through the minor leagues probably on rehab assignments and then try to crack the big league rotation. I do think he's a guy like that fits nicely with some of the power arms, like if everything goes like according to plan, right? But he's he's got to take the mound at some point first.
This is a fantastic idea. Blank name says, can they put giant fans in the stands to blow the ball in at Charlotte? You know, I thought that when they built the uh the condo building right behind the grandstand, I was hoping that it was going to kind of help the jet stream a little bit. It did not.
Yeah.
It has in fact
You know
gotten worse.
you know what they should do? Remember it's like playing it make it so it's like playing at altitude. Like you have a big giant wall that you put up when the visiting team's hitting and then you lower it when like you're hitting.
Sounds like a great idea to
It's
me.
like I mean it's a minor league gimmick, right? Like let's
Why
do it.
not? I mean, I don't know if you happen to see the I'm trying to remember who the heck it was mentioned when they were playing in the World Series in Minnesota and how Kirby Puckett got the all the HVAC turned on
Oh,
blowing
yeah,
out
yeah.
towards the outfield.
Yeah, he would I mean, the Twins, that place was always I mean, they would do stuff like that all the time.
Garbage bag
And
walls.
The Vikings, I know, like, this is probably we probably do have a mutual Vikings hatred, where they do that stupid buzzer, that horn, that
100%.
stupid that it's like yeah, exactly. It's the absolute worst. Like,
Viking Warhorn.
yeah.
Like in my music, I like it. In the football games, I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Really
Um,
quick before we move on, there were 2 questions about Paez as the potential player to be named later. Something that's, important to note, it's very similar to Mike Vassell last year. So if the White Sox were to essentially return Paez to the Red Sox because he doesn't make the team, he goes on waivers. Anyone who claims him basically has to treat him like a Rule 5 pick. Um, so anybody in the league can do that. Then if he clears, he goes back to the Red Sox. Then yes, in theory, the Red Sox could trade him to the White Sox as a player to be named later. I don't know if that's like a thing, but it was something that we obviously talked about like as soon as the trade was made with the weird 2 player to be named later for 1 player to be named later thing.
yeah, I don't know that there's any. Is there any other team other than? I mean,
Mhm.
I guess you could say the Rockies, but what a terrible idea putting a advanced A pitcher in Coors Field would be
Yeah.
to try and hide a guy on your 26 man.
So
I just don't see it.
my only other thought would be Washington because they have the former Red Sox like assistant
Okay.
GM as their
Yeah.
GM, and they're gonna be horrendous.
Yeah.
So like like Washington would be my guess if it's anybody.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. So Noah Schultz, Tanner McDougal, and Duncan Davitt sent to AAA.
Yeah.
Other guys sent to minor league
Mhm.
camp. We got Mason Adams, Addison Coffey, Tyler Davis, Zach
How? How did they
Franklin.
send down Tyler Davis? I'm sorry, that was mean. I'm just trying to get Ian angry with 10 minutes to go in the
Bruh.
show. So yeah, like,
Jairo Iriarte, Shane Murphy, Michael Turner, Tim Elko, and Jacob Gonzalez reassigned to minor league camp. And the final thing that I really have that's like really of note is that Shane Smith was named your opening day starting pitcher.
anything else would have been insane.
Uncivilized,
It
if
was
you will.
so funny. Like I saw the tweets from the reporters, like Will Venable is going to announce the opening day starter tomorrow. I wanted to be like, it's Shane Smith, guys. Like
Yeah,
what are we doing here? Like
I can
it's
break that
funny.
news for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we are at 50 minutes.
Wait,
So
Washington, that happened, Adrian? I didn't see that. So Washington signed Zach Littell today?
oh, there you go. He's
How's, how
he's
much
off the
how
board.
much money is it? I can't believe he waited this long to sign. And no Lucas Giolito either, which is crazy to me. Maybe he signs now.
Yeah. Oh, I've got to. Yeah. Um. So WBC takeaways.
Yeah,
Uh,
Sam Antonacci.
I am wearing this the
Yeah.
Italian beef hat in celebration of Kyle Teal and Sam Antonacci playing for Team Italy and absolutely raking. I'm not Italian, but I'll live vicariously through them
Yeah.
in this tournament. Sam did some. So John Birdie, who is, as far as I'm concerned, that guy is should be a lifetime bench player For whatever reason, they decided to start him over Sam Antonacci, and Sam Antonacci is saying, "Hold on a minute."
Yeah. So is that the is John Birdie Sam Antonacci's floor? We
I
were
think
talking about
so.
the floor. That's kind of like
I
what
mean,
you can
John
hang around
Birdie's
for a
way
long time.
faster, but
Yeah, he can play short too, but or he used
yeah.
to be able to at least when he
Well,
was like prime. Yeah.
Sam can play short.
Can play short. Yes.
Yeah,
Should probably not play it, but
probably not.
yeah,
Yeah,
no. Yeah, so
could.
that's interesting. I mean, shocker, the Dominican Republic team's pretty good. The I mean, the US team is good, but it's not as much starting pitching, I feel like, as some of the other teams. And then Japan is just, I mean, like we're gonna look back on. I like saw a tweet that somebody put about Shohei Otani. Like Shohei Otani is like the guy that your kid makes in MLB The Show, and the game like tells you like no. They're like no, you can't make a guy that would hit 3 homers in a game and strike out 10 like in like just some of the stuff he does. It's just like it's insane. Like it's like this
Yeah.
guy's like not a we're like not of the same species as this person.
What was amazing was the bases loaded and the guy getting backpicked at second with the
Yeah.
bases loaded with
Yeah.
Otani up.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I
Many a
just
tweet made about that.
so it's supposed to be like I'm not the biggest like WBC watcher, but is it supposed to be Japan US like in the final? Is that like what
You
you
would
would
think
think,
so.
right?
I
Yeah.
mean,
And
I
now it's like Skubal's like staying and might pitch again. I saw that today.
yeah, he's debating it. Oh, we'll sit here and pause for your answer.
Yeah. We'll
Um,
wait for you.
I don't know. Like I just say I'm obviously an American. I look at that team and like I'm just not that excited about it.
The
I
American
enjoy
team?
watching some of the other teams more
Yeah.
so than watching the US team.
Yeah, it's not I mean, yeah, it's not great. I mean, the pitchers after the top 2 I thought were gonna be like a bit of an issue. Um, yeah, I mean the DR team, even what Venezuela's pretty good.
Yeah, right.
Um, yeah. So we got what a Mead homered for Australia. Swing looks a little bit different. Is he going to make the White Sox based off of his WBC appearance? We'll see. I don't know. He's one of those borderline guys that's out of options.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably.
So
Um,
yeah, so
let's
there's that, and then we
yeah,
gotta, there's questions about Rock Chalowski. We'll get to that before we get off. I promise. Okay.
yeah, of course. Of course. Move to the I guess we can move to the Rock Watch. I mean, we got
The Rock Watch. Yes. Are we jinxing Rock Chalowski?
no.
Yeah. Especially because his OPS is probably what, like still like 1,300 or something,
I haven't
even
looked.
after a rough week. So I will say Burke, our buddy Burke Granger, he does the draft show with us. It's a Midwest guy for D1 baseball. So he was at Ohio State this weekend seeing Rock Chalowski. Um, Mike Shirley was in attendance, so he was at this. I feel like we've talked about this, how the White Sox, I feel like, have sent somebody to see Rock like every series. Like they're like Jim Tomey, you get Florida. Who's like some of the other guys that are in their front office, right? They're like, oh, Josh Barfield, you go to California and see him. Like we'll go here and see him. Um, so yeah, I mean, look, I don't know that it's necessarily like a rough week, right? But he's not hitting a
Well, I
homer
mean,
every day, and he walks quite a bit. So
he had 2 hits in the series against Ohio State.
yeah,
So one was a home run on Friday. The other one was a single today. Yesterday he went 0 for I think 3 with a walk, and then today he was 1 for 4 with a walk, I think. But he's got like he walked 3 times yesterday.
right. Yeah, I mean
So
he's
I'm wrong on that part, but he's got like 6 or 7 walks in this Ohio State series. And it's his first series in real cold weather, I want to say. I wouldn't say that we are jinxing him for sure.
I was
Um,
just kidding.
yeah, no, I know. I know. But
Like
like I've seen you at the White Sox camp, Elijah got a little bit of
Oh,
a
some
little bit
grief.
of a
He's like,
you got
"Oh,
a
you
little
guys
bit of a ribbing
oh,
about it.
yeah, you guys gonna tweet all of his stuff?" It's like, "Yeah, actually, we are kind of." Like, people seem to like it. I hope somebody asks me when I'm there next weekend.
Yeah,
I'm
I
waiting
mean,
for that.
yes, I will agree with you on this 100%, Adrian. He says the pop-ups are an issue. There have been a bunch of pop-ups in the infield,
Well,
which
maybe
I
it's
will
because of
agree.
the bat that he's using.
I mean, there could be that. If you
Right.
guys, you could follow me on Twitter, you could see me talking about his baseball bat. I really wish that he would change his baseball bat, but that's neither here nor there. Um,
Yeah, so so the other, I guess, thing with the draft that's like, so have you dug in to Justin LeBron or not really?
I
Because
haven't looked at him this week
okay.
and seen anything he's done, but I
So,
haven't heard anything
yeah,
either.
like, to
So,
me, if the White Sox were to decide, like, we're not taking Rock Chalowski, I think they'd take Grady Emerson. So the whole, like, which one of these college guys can overtake Rock thing that, like, people have to do, like, weekly, like, I don't see like, is there a world where, like, something happens and, like, sure, right? But, like, Grady Emerson's, like, could also be the number 1 pick most years. Like,
yeah,
I just, like, don't like like, the Justin LeBron thing is fine, but, like, the hit to Ace Reese, Uncle Ted. There he is. I was waiting
I
this
was
whole time
waiting for that.
for Uncle Ted. Gonna take the left-handed hitting
Hilarious.
third baseman. Yes,
Yeah.
I get it. That's fine. But yeah, no, I we got a long way to go. Pretty sure it's gonna be Rock Chalowski. What did you think of Jim's answer about Landon Tomey?
I mean, here's the weird thing to me is that when you mentioned it, and this is something that we've talked about quite a bit, it looked like the thought had never occurred to him when we asked him about it
The thing that they could do somebody way better than
that
that?
they could do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't, I understand it's the White Sox and they love their nepotism picks. They love that. But like just the fact that he's like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
Well, because I just feel like even if he's Jaden Fauske, right? Same level of kid. Caleb Bonnemer. Those guys got $3 million. Like their pick at that spot's going to be like $3 million. Like they've been going significantly over slot at the second spot. So if you're going to do that again, you're talking about a top 20 player in the class. And maybe Tommy gets there. The guy, I'd like to go see him this spring. Everybody seems to like think the kid is great. I'm sure he is because his dad's Jim Tomey. Like, and everybody thinks he can really hit. But there are questions. It's like where, like, you're gonna be the team who comes on to these draft zooms and talks about how you only want to take up the middle players, and he's like second base at the best and maybe left field or first. So like I don't. It's interesting. I'd love to have him in this. I'd love to get him at 77. That would be great if you could guarantee him $3 million in the third round and just get him to you somehow. Great, I'm all aboard. But 41, like, I just, I don't know. I just feel like they could do better.
So Trey brings up something here interesting. We'll give the Orioles Lenine Sosa for Enrique Bradfield. Would
I
you
just,
would you do that?
sure, maybe. I mean, well, I don't know. I don't know if I do it yet. Can I see Acuna in center field first to see if like we have something possibly? But um, like could Sosa even play for them? They love righty power.
Where? Where?
Yeah, like they love right hand. Like they just trade for right-handed power all the time. Like they even got Brian Ramos back. Like, like it's. I just don't know. I don't know where he plays.
Well, Trey, he might be playing well tonight. Uh, but I've watched him many a time and I have not been impressed. His bat to ball is not what I'm looking for in general. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying I've watched a lot.
Yeah, Trey. They drafted Jacob Gonzalez over lots of guys. It wasn't just Bradfield.
Yep. Yeah, that
There
was
were college options. There were prep options. It was rough.
yeah, probably could have gotten him
Mm.
in the 30s probably. And even then, you probably could have gotten with your second round pick. Just my thoughts, but
Adrian brought up Gio Rojas. So there are a couple guys in this draft who are like your lefty prep pitchers who should be top 10 picks, like top 10 locks. Um, but the draft is weird, right? So I know Adrian went and saw Gio Rojas of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, like in person. That dude's pretty nasty. He probably goes top 10. But like if you made me choose, like I would probably take a prep arm at 41 because I think those guys are like top 20-ish players in the class and they get pushed down.
yeah. Oh, I want to answer Uncle Ted here. Does Bradford swing a wet noodle? Well, he's got a sub 700 OPS last year. So,
Yeah,
um,
we'll see it on who's the other guy for them that's tearing up spring training? Vance Honeycutt, right?
oh yeah, Vance
Who
Honeycutt,
like Vance
which
Honeycutt who struck out 30% of the time in college and then struck out 30% of the time in like low A and high A. And now he's like doing well in the Grapefruit League.
yeah, yeah, well,
We'll see.
yeah,
If he can
I
hit it all, he's a definite center fielder with like 70 raw power. But again,
yeah,
when
yeah.
you strike out
Honeycutt's
over
power's
when you
phenomenal.
strike out over 25% of the time in college, it doesn't usually work out well for you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was always my major concern with Honeycutt. Like me and my kid, we watch North Carolina baseball all the time because my family, some of my family's from North Carolina, so we have like an allegiance to them. But um, he was great in college, but he did strike out a lot, and he's continued that since being
Yes.
drafted.
It's
So
lots of Ks. Frank Contreras' son projected, could he go 41? I mean,
he might
yeah.
go ahead of that.
Like, yeah, I mean, look, he's an option because again, it's another guy who works for the team, right? But yeah, he might go before that. But there's like 5 or 6 high school pitchers that might be better than he is, and he's like really good.
Yeah, he is. Throwing 98 miles an hour at 17 years old for WBC
Yeah,
team.
he got Aaron
It's
Judge to
so
ground into a
crazy.
double play, right? I did see that.
Oh,
I don't know, dude. Like, is Jose Contreras' wife Brazilian?
I don't know.
Okay,
Um,
that's what I thought. I
uh,
was like, okay, this is
the WBC thing is so weird. Like I never know how these guys get onto these teams. I mean, obviously,
yeah,
like Antonacci is on Team Italy. Like
right,
that one, I understand. The
yeah,
teal one, I mean, maybe he's got one of his parents is Italian. I have no idea.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
it could have been like Jose Contreras, like spent a week in Brazil once, and they were like,
Could be.
okay, that's fine. Your kid can pitch for us.
Yeah, it's like could be that he trained there for an off season and got dual citizenship, and
Mhm.
so they decided to let him do it. I don't know.
Okay.
Ah,
Blank
blank
name
name
says
says
his
his
wife is
wife is. Yeah,
supposedly Brazilian. Yeah,
supposedly.
great.
Yeah,
That's
you know
fine.
how that's what I'm saying about this WBC thing. Said
Yeah.
his mom's family is
The
Italian. Yeah, I
Brazil
kind
the
of
I'm sure the guy, the GM or the manager for Team Brazil, like was like, yeah, he'll work. Like that's fine. We'll take your word for it. He can pitch for us.
yeah. It's like I when you see who is it playing second base for the Jazz Chisholm playing for Great
Oh,
Britain.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like I just look at all this stuff and just kind of go, I don't know. Like I have no idea how any of these guys get on these teams.
I know. It's
Anywho,
jeez.
you got anything else for this week?
I don't think so. I think we're
All
good.
right. Uh,
Follow our guy Jeff Cohen. He's in Arizona for a few
he
days.
is. Yep.
I'll be there next weekend.
Yeah. So we'll have somebody there for the next week and a half. And then what is it, like another week and a half, and then we're on to the
I think
regular
so. And
season?
then for anybody going to Milwaukee, I will be there the Saturday and Sunday game. Come up and say hello. We'll be hanging out.
Mm. Oh, I did want to bring this up. The Birmingham Barons got their championship back-to-back rings yesterday, and I just wanted to bring this up because this ring is fresh. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is a nice ring. Congrats to all those guys that got their rings this week. It is fantastic. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and walk us out. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We appreciate you guys. For those of you out at spring training, enjoy yourselves. Say hi to Jeff for us, Carrie. We appreciate it. All right. You have been watching slash listening to the Future Sox podcast. If you are listening to this in podcast form, know that you can find us every Sunday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube and the Purple app. You can also find this podcast along with all of our written content at futuresox.net. If you are looking for White Sox prospect highlights, you can find them on X at FutureSox and now also here on our YouTube channel. If you love our content and want to support us here at Future Sox, there is a link to our Patreon in our channel description and at futuresox.net. You can also toss up a super chat on our YouTube stream. Also, don't forget to like this stream and subscribe with notifications so you know when we're going live while helping us in the World Wide Web algorithms. My name is Ian Eskridge at Daily White Sox. He's James Fox at James Fox 917. We appreciate all of you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Thanks for the chats. You guys drive this whole thing. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching the Future Sox podcast, part of the Just Baseball Media Network. You guys have a great week, and we'll chat with you guys next week. Thank you.